Hello, everyone. My name is Nico Alexopoulos, and today I want to address what can youth soccer players learn from Cristiano Ronaldo. In fact, what can we all learn from Cristiano Ronaldo? What can he possibly bring to us from his way of playing, his way of conducting himself on and off the field? So, in this video, I want to have a conversation the impact of Cristiano Ronaldo, not only in our youth soccer culture, but in our culture as a whole, as humans. Stay tuned, like the video, share the channel, subscribe to it, and let's get going. So let's get started. First of all, a lot of these conversations stem and start from my passion to not only develop soccer players and futsal players as soccer or futsal players, but also to aid in a player's development in sport and in life. My organizations, Central Jersey Futsal, and our newest sponsored program for futsal players, FTP, are exact indications of that. We are not looking to just create and develop soccer players. We want to create and we want to help in the development of a player, of a teenager, of an adult, of a human. We want to make an impact in the world by building a solid value-driven foundation. And I believe that foundation is our youth. So let's start by one of the greatest players to play the sport of soccer in today's world, and how are his actions affecting not only our youth soccer players, what can our youth soccer players learn, but also what can we learn? What can we learn as humans from this particular individual? Most of you know him by the name of Cristiano Ronaldo. Portuguese international, have played at the highest level, starting from his Portuguese team, Sporting, going to Manchester United and Real Madrid and Serie A Juventus, and now coming back to Manchester United. So I want to start off by first saying that when Cristiano first started and when he first came on the scene as a professional, I was not a fan of his at all. With all the hoopla and how great he was, his individual skills, I just did not like the player as a player, not as an individual, because I didn't know him as an individual at the time. But what I saw on the field, I just didn't like. I saw an individual cocky kid, very young at that age, always showcases and always trying to show off his individual dribbling skills and his foot skills and all that stuff. And he basically came across as always looking for the me factor. I want to score the goals. I want to be the name. I want to be the star. I think I was right, because in his initial days as a professional, after he left Sporting and came to Manchester United, where more and more attention was on him, although he did score goals, he struggled to excel at the national level with his national teams. As time progressed, defenses, coaching systems organized themselves where they could defend his individual skills, his dribbling skills, his speed. They created schemes to defend that part of his game. And therefore, although he worked hard, although he was on the field, and he always had a surrounding cast of other players that also worked hard to help him create those goals, at times he struggled, in my opinion, because again, his individualism was ahead of his team efforts. However, as the years progressed, and to his credit, he changed his game. He started to adapt, and he started to realize The individual skills will only get you so far. You need to be a team player. You need to be able to read the game. You need to be able to put yourself in situations where you can succeed. You need to be able to work with other surrounding cast players, because no individual player will ever score a goal by himself. I don't care how good you are. Well, guess what? That also applies in real life. Every individual success story, regardless that being in business, in life, in academics, or elsewhere, you must have surrounding quality tools to help you. Yes, at the end of the day, it all begins and ends with you. And I always say that. You are the one who needs to make the decisions on what tools to use, who to surround yourself with, how to approach certain situations. It begins and it ends with you, but you must learn how to adapt and realize that your individual talents, your individual skills are not enough to get you to the top of the mountains. You have to be smart and surround yourself with the right tools, with the right situations, with the right people. I think Ronaldo has been very successful in doing just that, in adapting, in changing. Listen, if you do a little research on the man, one thing that's unquestionable is his work ethic. He's the first one on the training grounds and the last one to leave after teams have left training. He hires and he uses individual coaches that stay after the training session is over to help him better his skills. His work ethic is not questionable. His attitude, his confidence is unquestionable. But he has developed those things because, again, the number one rule, in my opinion, is it starts and it ends with him. So he's done a great job of being a pro advocate for himself, from being a champion of himself, for recognizing his weaknesses and his strengths, for adapting, for changing. Years later, after watching him, and now at 36 years old, I have become a great fan of his. Recently, he moved or transferred to Manchester United. And to his critics, a lot of people said that that would be a bad thing for Manchester United. And although from the first minute that he stepped his foot on the training grounds of Manchester United, his first game, he started scoring goals right away. But his critics said that because of his age and because of his lack of working hard when not in possession, that's going to hurt Manchester United system of play. Manchester United has been building a system of play with a high pressure, fast, all players pressure as a unit, not just one player chasing the ball, but everybody pressuring and chasing the ball. Press and cover, as it's called. And Cristiano lacks that in his game in today's environment. He saves his energy. He doesn't press as much. He relies on other players to do the pressing, and he only chooses the moments that he's going to press and use his energy. Well, that's something that Manchester United should have known when they signed him. That's the way he plays. As he gets older, maybe it's by design that he reserves that energy, because let's be honest, Cristiano Ronaldo does not want to come out of any game. He wants to play every minute of every game. And believe me, the clubs that he plays for have a long, strenuous schedule. League games, international competitions, duties for his national team. The man plays a lot of games. So maybe it's by design that he doesn't run all over the place. He doesn't chase everywhere because he wants to play 100% of the time, all the games. He doesn't like to come out. And let's be honest, the man scores some clutch goals, so you do want him on the field as much as possible. So it's up to the coaching system, it's up to the coaching staff to figure a way how to utilize him in a way he should be utilized with the way he plays. But without getting too carried away with all this tactical stuff, I figure, I do a little research and see some of the things that define Cristiano Ronaldo. Here's some of the things that I found. Having a goal, in his life. Doing hard work with focus and dedication. Believing in himself and building a super confidence attitude. Learn continuously and adapt to changes. Have a positive attitude in life and don't mind the criticism from the haters. Because let's be honest, he gets a lot of that. Leaving his comfort zone and entering the growth zone. And I'll elaborate on what that means. Of course, taking care of his health and being fit, something that he prides on. Does not drink soda, only water. I mean, the man at 36 years old is as fit as a 17, 18-year-old. He's a leader. So being a leader and focus in his team success. He just came out upon joining Manchester United and said that he is not there for a holiday. He's not there just for another paycheck. He is there for his team to succeed. He's there for Manchester United to win trophies. Having a mentor and learning from there. No matter how successful you are, having a mentor is a crucial part of the equation. Having somebody who is always a step or two ahead of you, in my opinion, is great. And last thing is spending quality time with his family. And again, if you do research, you'll notice that he tries to do as much as that as he can with his family, his children, his wife. I don't even know if he is married or, whatever that situation is, or his mom. But now I'm going to go and add some additional stuff that I believe are more important than the list I just read to you guys, not only to him, but on what to learn from him as youth soccer players, as adults, as grown-ups, as humans. What can we learn from him that he does well? My number one is that he always has an honest self-assessment of himself. And that's something, in my opinion, that is lacking, especially in the youth soccer player. They do not have an honest self-image of themselves. They think they are better than they really are. And that's because parents, coaches, people tell them how good they are, but really they're not that good. Or they might be good in a certain piece of their game, but lacking on other things. So teaching a young soccer player how to always do a self-assessment that is honest, and not just initially, hey, this is my assessment and that's it. You got to do a self-assessment daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, season to season. If you're a professional, you got to do that assessment. If you own a business, if you work for a company, if you're a student, in life, you have to do constant self-assessments because situations change. Because life is constantly changing. So we must be able to do honest self-assessments of ourselves continuously and learn how to adapt. No matter how much it hurts to listen to the negative things about us, we must learn how to be open to that, which is my next point, and be willing to do the work, be willing to do what it takes to correct. My next point is be open and welcome to constructive criticism. When coaches, for you soccer players, are giving an evaluation and answer a critique, don't dismiss it because you think you're just better than they really are. They've been there. Most coaches have been there. They've been at that age. They've played. That's why they're coaches. And I'm talking about professional coaches that know what they're doing. But you can find open, welcome criticism from other sources, from your parents, from your colleagues, from your teammates, from your mentors, from other people that have been there and done that. Be open to that. Don't shut them off. So these two go hand in hand. Always have an honest self-assessment. Be open and welcome to constructive criticism, and tie those things two together. If you hear something that you don't like, don't dismiss it. Do an honest self-evaluation and say, honestly, was that true? And if it's true, how am I going to adapt? How am I going to fix it? Next one is learn continuously and adapt to changes, which again, it blends with the previous 2 points that I just mentioned. As you can see, all these things are intertwined. Having a constant self-assessment, be open and welcome to constructive criticism, and continuously learn and adapt to changes of what you're being told, of what you're learning. The last one in my quartet of things is be humble. Because you know what? If you're not humble, you will not be able to do a self-assessment. You will not be open to constructive criticism, and you will not learn to continuously adapt to those changes because you think you know everything, because you think you are the best. Those 4 things, in my opinion, have helped Ronaldo get where he is today. Keep himself as an elite player and possibly the best player of the world as a 36-year-old, where most players are already retiring or have past retired. Listen, if you take all these elements, you tie them together in your personal life, in your athletic life, in your academic life, in your personal life, in your relationship life, I believe any individual can see a massive change. These are the things we can learn from Cristiano Ronaldo. These are the things that we can apply in our own lives. Don't forget though, it always begins and it ends with us, with our individual selves. We are the only ones that we can look in the mirror and be honest or lie to. And believe me, most of us are great liars. For those of you guys that follow Ronaldo or follow international soccer, this past week, should I say, because right now this is being recorded on Wednesday. So over the weekend, he played against Tottenham in the Premiership at a derby that saw Manchester United win 3-0. And he scored the initial goal. He scored a goal on technique that most players can only dream about. In fact, the goalkeeper from Tottenham, Lloris, was quoted in saying he went back during halftime and looked at the video of that goal because he could not believe the execution of the technique that Ronaldo did to score that goal. So let me describe it for you guys. It was a long cross without the ball being dropped to the ground. He basically had a cross volley, which is a side volley across his body, the ball off the air, never touching the ground, and putting the ball in the back post corner. So while the goalkeeper is protecting the near post, Ronaldo was able to put the ball in the back post corner. A very difficult goal to execute, a very difficult technique to execute. So his technique is undeniable at 36 years of age. He was at the right spot at the right time. He made the right run. They saw him. Ball was crossed to him. He finished it. One of the reasons why he's able to finish routinely goals like that is because he puts the work at training. Because he routinely practices and practices and practices, just like any other top superstar. Now, when the game calls for those situations, most of the time they can execute. It becomes routine for them. They don't choke in the moment. And that just, doesn't apply in just athletics, in soccer, basketball, football. It applies in life. It applies in academics. It applies in business. It applies in everything. If you routinely do the work and continuously to better yourselves, if you do all these things, then when the moment in life, in academics, in sports presents itself, it becomes easier to execute. Many youth soccer players cannot execute because they choke in the moment. They don't put the work in. So he scored a fantastic goal for that game. And then yesterday, he played against Atalanta from Italy in the Champions League game, where he scored not once, but twice, both equalizers, because Manchester United fell behind, once again, in my opinion, of terrible defending, okay? But Cristiano was able to bring it back twice, equalize. The second goal, by the way, the first goal was a fantastic finish off a brilliant back heel from Nuno Fernandes, who's his teammate. Great vision by him. But Cristiano made the run at the right time, at the right place, where Nuno Fernandes was able to back heel the ball to him. And Cristiano, with calm, cool, like he's done it many times, put the ball in the right spot as the goalkeeper and another defender were coming out to defend, scoring the equalizer. The second goal, which was also an equalizer, was another finish, one-touch finish that most players can only dream about. He was once again at the right time, in the right place, without any hesitation, without any unnecessary touches, which youth soccer players and strikers are notorious of doing, taking that extra step, taking that extra touch, which kills the opportunity. So he was at the right space, right time, struck the ball, one-timed it directly off a pass, one-timed it, ball in the back of the net with a phenomenal finish. I urge you guys to Google and look at the highlights, and you will appreciate the brilliance of his readiness. Because guess what? No one can do those things unless you put the work in on the training ground. Nobody, I don't care how much of a natural striker you are. I don't care if you Pele or Maradona or all these big guys. And over the years, and I'm an old timer who believes that strikers are born, they smell the goal, they feel the goal. They can just hover around for 90 minutes doing nothing, and at the right time, the right moments, they will finish and get you the win. And that's what goal scorers are paid for, to score goals. So I think that's something that's an instinct that you're born with or you have with. Can you develop it? Probably, but I feel that most top quality strikers, that's an instinct that they have naturally. You can develop it, but you got to have it. You got to know where to be, how to be, when to be, read the game, smell the goal, as we call it. But again, the technique has to be there. And all these top players, including Cristiano, put the work in to make those moments just look ordinary. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, at the game with Tottenham, Cristiano not only scored the goal, he also assisted on the second goal with a great pass to Cavani. So once again, not only has he adjusted his game to be not as a one-sided player dribbling and this and that, but also he has adjusted his game to be a team player. So he saw an opportunity to support his teammate Cavani, made a beautiful pass and assisted on a goal. Another striker that has very similar traits, by the way, is Harry Kane, who also plays for Tottenham and is a massive goal scorer, great goal scorer, but he also assists in a lot of goals. So we go back into the youth soccer mentality, where strikers are being recognized as the best, or one of the best players of the game, or the team rather, and it's all about them. It's that me culture. It's about me scoring the goals and me. Where, in my opinion, as a coach, I want to build a team of scorers, not just an individual who scores goals. Because let's not forget what happens if that player is not available on game day because hurt or whatever the case may be. You're not going to be able to score goals. You're going to limit yourself. I have seen it happen over and over and over again, where teams rely on one or two players to score goals instead of developing team scorers. In other words, that your midfielders can score, your backs can score by way of overlapping and attacking. So you basically creating an environment where any player can score. Oh, by the way, futsal is a great breeding ground for that, teaching everybody the opportunity, the joy to score a goal, because everybody enjoys scoring a goal. So by having other players learn the secrets, the techniques, the approach to scoring goals can only benefit a team instead of just having that one player. Unfortunately, what I see in youth soccer is that the top strikers have the me syndrome. It's all about them. They are looking to score goals. They don't do the work that's required other than just scoring goals. And the coaches allow that to happen. Top strikers and top coaches are looking for those top strikers that not only can score goals, but they also have a team attitude. A striker that is a phenomenal striker like Cristiano or Harry Kane draws a lot of attention. So if you are being double teamed and triple teamed, guess what? Other players will be open. If you learn how to pass the ball off, how to be a target player and touch to other players, the team will benefit. Because let's be honest, if you are drawing 2-3 players in coverage, somebody's going to be open. By you as an individual player trying to dribble past all those players and lose the ball, but instead of just passing to one of those open players, now you're creating easy goals. I'm a big fan of easy goals. What's an easy goal, you say? Well, I give you an example. You have a striker that basically has no angle to take a shot. The distance is not there. The balance is not there, but he will elect to take that difficult shot because it's about him scoring the goal instead of passing the ball to a wide open player in front of the goal who all he's got to do is tap the ball in. That's an easy goal. I like my teams to work as a team to create goals because that's what it takes to create a goal, a team, and then work for that easy goal. I want to, address the youth striker for a minute or two. And unfortunately, what I see out on the playing ground is very few strikers actually have the know-how, have the temperament, the quality, the mentality, the attitude, the character to become a top striker past their youth years. They are reactive instead of being proactive. Reactive means that when they get the ball on their feet, that's when they start to work, instead of making those decisions prior to receiving the ball. How to run, where to run, how to receive the ball, where to receive the ball, how to ask for the ball, what they should do after they receive the ball. All this stuff is called learning to read the game. They don't read the game. They focus on the ball and they start making decisions when they get the ball on their feet. Why? Because it's all about them. Because as soon as they get the ball, now it's the XYZ show. They're always looking to show off their dribbling skills. And a lot of times they're failing because good defenders will shut them down. And they just keep trying and trying and trying. Nothing wrong with that. But if a defender owns you, maybe being smart, you should not do something else to adapt that game, which goes back to what we were saying about being able to adapt and change. And in my opinion, coaches don't do enough. When they see a player doing the same mistakes over and over again and not being able to adapt because it's all about them, coaches are not stepping in to make the necessary changes to teach that player how to be a team player, how to adapt to the change, instead of just constantly failing on something that they're doing, which is not a good thing. You strikers are always looking to dribble as opposed or run away, as opposed to be a team player, as opposed to touch the ball back, receive it, pass the ball, ask for it back, make a run off the ball, into space, diagonally. I mean, just a bunch of stuff. A lot of strikers, every time, they want the ball, they just run away from the ball. They're one-dimensional. They're only running away from the ball because their main concern is to outrun the defense. They never come off the ball. They don't have the confidence to come back and receive the ball, protect the ball, play with the ball, create opportunities. They don't have that confidence. They're always looking to outrun the defenders. They don't have the confidence to become what we call a target player. A target player is a player where the team plays the ball and then they make runs off them and things happen. Being able to run off the ball is not only a supporting player's job, but also a striker's job. If a midfielder has the ball, you should know when to run off the ball. A lot of things that require from youth soccer strikers are not being, in my opinion, taught at that level. Being able to recognize where to be, when to be, and how to be. Being in the right spot at the right time, and how are you there? How are you facing the goal? How are you facing the ball? How are you facing the field? There's just a bunch of stuff that, in my opinion, just are not being taught. Okay, one of the rules that exist, it's called pass, dribble, shoot. That means if a player receives the ball, the first thing really they should look for is how to create that next pass. Then they look to dribble to create space for them to make that pass. So the dribbling is being used to create space. And the last thing is you shoot. So if you're inside the, shooting range, your personal shooting range, because everybody's different, then you shoot. So most top coaches would tell you that's the order: pass, dribble, and shoot. Most youth strikers, their order is dribble, dribble, shoot, shoot, and lastly, maybe pass. Kind of messes up the whole psychic of the attacking game. I mean, you have basically strikers that are shooting from improbable angles that have no business shooting from, because there's no way they're going to beat the goalkeeper. So you have the wrong angle, you have the wrong distance, you're too far away, and you don't have the pace to put the ball on goal, to put the ball in frame. So why are you taking that shot? There's no balance in your shooting. That means that you don't have the proper technique, because guess what? To shoot the ball, there is a technique. You have to be able to balance your body, and you have to be able to prepare your body to take a shot, which is all the technique. A lot of strikers lack these things. They've never been taught these things. They don't even know what they are. If you really think about it, all these things can be taught. All these things can be seen in Ronaldo's game. But if you do a little research, that you'll see that a lot of these things he applies also in his personal life, by way of his philanthropy, the way he conducts himself off the training grounds, off the soccer field. Does he have critics? Of course. Life is full of critics. It's easy to be a sideline coach. It's easy to be a Sunday coach. It's easy to be criticize somebody after they have the initiative to make the decision. These are the things that not only can be learned from Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm bringing him out because he's such a hot topic right now in the soccer world. I mean, at 36 years old, the controversy is she too old to be playing in the Man United system? But then again, the man just scores goals and after goals and bails out United. Is it the coaching staff? Is the coaching philosophies? The coaching, system that they're playing? What is it? But all these things can be applied not only in what you see developing in front of you, but think about it can be applied in every aspect of life. That being sport, academics, professional life, personal life, family life, and we all need to start learning from these things. Once again, I want to finish up with the four things that I personally think are very important. Always have an honest self-assessment of yourself. Be open and welcome to constructive criticism. Learn continuously and adapt to changes, and be humble. All those four things intertwined into one can work miracles in Cristiano's life, which it has, in your youth soccer player's life, in your personal life, in academics, in professional life, in personal life, in family life. These are the things that I wanted to leave you with. If you liked and enjoyed this presentation, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to hearing you on the next one.